Let me ask you a question, a serious, uncomfortable question. Why are you watching this? Why did you watch part 1 on wealth? Why did you commit 20 minutes to learning about leverage, equity, and specific knowledge? Why did you watch part 2 on judgment? Why did you spend your valuable time building mental models? You probably answered, because I want to be rich, because I want to be wealthy, but I want to push you harder. Why do you want to be rich? So I can buy a nice house, so I can travel, so I can buy a Lamborghini, so I can send my kids to the best schools, so I can stop working for my boss. Okay, those are valid answers, but let's go deeper. Why do you want those things? Why do you want the house? Why do you want the car? Why do you want the freedom? If we peel back the layers, like peeling an onion, if we ask why 5 times, the answer is always invariably the same. You believe that these things will make you happy. You believe that there is a future version of you, a rich version of you, standing on a balcony overlooking the ocean, holding a glass of wine, who is finally, completely, and permanently at peace. You believe that rich you does not have the anxiety that current you has. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. I am Victor. We have spent 2 videos building the machine. We talked about leverage, the engine of wealth. We talked about decision-making, the steering wheel of wealth. But today, we face the most dangerous trap in the entire game. The trap that has destroyed more lives than poverty ever could. There are thousands of people who master wealth. They get the money, they get the status, they get the exit, they ring the opening bell at the stock exchange, and yet they are miserable. They are anxious, they are envious, they are popping pills to sleep. They are going through their 3rd divorce. They are sitting on their yachts, checking their phones, terrified that they are losing relevance. If you get rich, but you lose your peace of mind, you haven't won the game, you have just bought a golden cage, and the key to that cage is not made of money. It is made of something else entirely. Naval Ravikant is a rare figure in the business world. He is not just a wealthy investor who got lucky on Uber and Twitter. He is what he calls a rational Buddhist. He treats happiness not as a magical blessing that falls from the sky, but as a skill, an engineering problem, a solvable equation. So today, in part 3, we are going to learn the skill of happiness. Let's start with the hard truth. The truth that no marketing campaign, no car commercial, and no real estate agent will ever tell you. Money solves your money problems. That is it. It does not solve your internal problems. If you are an anxious person, money will just give you more things to be anxious about. Before, you worried about paying rent. Now you worry about the stock market crashing. You worry about employees stealing from you. You worry about people suing you. You worry about your children being kidnapped. The anxiety didn't disappear. It just found more expensive objects to attach itself to. It upgraded its target. If you are an envious person, money will just move you into a new room with richer people to be envious of. Instead of being jealous of your neighbor's Toyota, you will be jealous of your billionaire friend's Gulfstream jet. The game never ends unless you choose to end it. To understand why we are trapped in this loop, we have to look at biology. We have to look at the hardware we are running. You are not designed to be happy. Evolution does not care about your happiness. Evolution cares about 2 things, your survival and your reproduction. That is it. Your brain is designed to look for problems. It is a problem-solving machine. It is a threat detection radar. 10,000 years ago, imagine 2 of our ancestors sitting on the savannah. Ancestor A is perfectly happy. He is content. He is staring at the clouds, enjoying the moment, feeling total peace. Ancestor B is anxious. He is scanning the horizon. He is worried about the food supply running out. He is worried that a lion might be hiding in the tall grass. Guess what happened? A lion came. Ancestor, the happy one, didn't see it coming. He got eaten. Ancestor B, the anxious one, heard the rustle in the grass and ran away. He survived. He reproduced. We are the descendants of Ancestor B. We are the descendants of the anxious, unsatisfied, paranoid people. So, your default state is not happiness. Your default state is a mild anxiety, a constant scanning for what is missing, a constant feeling that this is not enough. Naval says, the modern world is a cage for our primitive drives. We are using hardware that is 10,000 years old to navigate a world of infinite abundance. We have infinite calories, infinite safety, infinite entertainment. But our brain is still scanning for lions, and since there are no lions, it invents them. It turns an email from your boss into a lion. It turns a rude comment on Twitter into a survival threat. That is the biological glitch, and you cannot fix a software bug if you don't acknowledge the hardware limitation. Now that we understand the hardware, let's look at the software virus that makes us miserable. That virus is called desire. We live in a society that runs on desire. The entire global economy, capitalism itself, is built on manufacturing desire. Every advertisement, every Instagram post, every movie is designed to create a gap between where you are and where you should be. You should have that body, you should have that car, you should be on that beach, you should be happier. Naval has a brutal, surgical definition of desire that changed my life. He says, desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. I want you to really think about that. A contract to be unhappy. Every time you say, I want X, you are signing that contract. You are binding yourself legally and emotionally. I will be happy when I get the promotion. Contract signed, unhappy for 12 months until promotion. I will be happy when I buy the house. Contract signed, unhappy for 5 years saving for down payment. I will be happy when I find a partner. Contract signed, unhappy indefinitely. You are telling your brain, do not be happy right now. Happiness is for the future. The present moment is incomplete. The present moment is trash. But here's the tragedy. The future never arrives because the moment you get the promotion, your brain adapts. It takes about 2 hours to get used to the new title. The dopamine hit fades, and then you look up and see the next level. Oh, I need to be a VP now. The moment you buy the house, you notice the furniture is old. I need new furniture. This is called the hedonic treadmill. You run and run and run, but you never move forward in satisfaction. You just get tired. Let me tell you a personal story from my own life. I remember when I hit my first major financial milestone. It was a number I had written down in a notebook 5 years earlier. I called it my freedom number. I convinced myself that when I saw that number in my bank account, bells would ring. I thought the sky would turn a different color. I thought I would transform into a being of pure light and never feel stress again. The day came, the wire transfer hit, I refreshed the page. There it was, the number. I felt good for about 48 hours, maybe 72. I went out to a nice dinner, I bought a nice watch, and then, on Tuesday morning, I woke up, and my brain, my ancient survival-focused brain, reset. It asked, okay, Victor, that's safe. What's next? What's the new threat? What's the new goal? We need to double it. The anxiety came back. The craving came back. The hole inside didn't fill up, it just got more expensive to fill. That was the moment I realized the game was rigged. If you attach your happiness to external goals, you will be unhappy 99% of the time while you are chasing them, and bored the other 1% after you get them. So, if achieving goals doesn't bring lasting peace, what does? We have to distinguish between two types of games. Naval talks about the single-player game versus the multiplayer game. The multiplayer game is the game of status. It is the game of, how do I look to others? It is playing for the applause. It is playing for the likes. It is playing to be better than your neighbor. This is where envy lives. Charlie Munger, the partner of Warren Buffett, said, "The world is not driven by greed. It is driven by envy." Envy is the enemy of the wealth equation we built in part 1. Wealth relies on compounding. Compounding takes time. It requires you to be patient. It requires you to stay in your own lane and let the interest accumulate over decades. Envy forces you to speed up. You are doing fine. You are growing your business at 20% a year. You are happy. Then you open social media. You see a guy who is 20 years younger than you, making millions on a meme coin in 2 weeks. Suddenly, your 20% growth feels like failure. You feel slow. You feel stupid. So what do? You abandon your system. You take stupid risks to catch up. You buy the top of the bubble. You use leverage you can't afford. Envy destroys your judgment, and it destroys your happiness. The single-player game is different. The single-player game is entirely internal. It is, am I calm? Am I healthy? Am I learning? Am I acting according to my own code? When you play the single-player game, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Naval has a mental model to cure envy called the total life swap. He says, if you want to trade lives with someone, you have to trade everything. You can't just take their money and keep your body. You can't just take their fame and keep your privacy. You have to take their anxiety. You have to take their bad back. You have to take their family problems. You have to take their age. You have to take their traumas. When you look at the full package, really look at it, you usually realize, you know what? I'll stick with my own problems. At least I know how to handle them. Stop comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. So, if desire and envy are the traps, how do we build the skill of happiness? And notice I call it a skill, like coding, like fitness, like nutrition. Most people think happiness is genetic. Oh, he's just a happy guy. I'm a depressive guy. While genetics play a role, the happiness set point, you can train your mind to move that set point, but you don't train it by adding things. Most self-help advice tells you to add things. Say affirmations. Start a gratitude journal. Go on a retreat. Buy the supplement. Naval suggests a different approach. Subtraction via negativa. Happiness is not acquiring more positive thoughts. It is about removing the negative ones. It is about debugging your brain. Your mind is constantly running a script, a voice in your head. Why did he say that to me? I'm not good enough. I need that car. It's too hot today. The waiter is too slow. Why is the traffic so bad? This voice is the source of your misery. You have to catch it. You have to look at it like a bug in the code. When a negative thought arises, stop, observe it. Ask yourself, is this thought useful? Is this thought true, or is it just a habit? Is it just my primitive brain trying to find a problem where there is none? 90% of our thoughts are just fear and desire on a loop. They are waste. They are junk data clogging up your processor. Naval uses meditation not as a spiritual ritual to reach enlightenment, but as a system reset. Just sitting for 60 minutes, doing nothing, forces the mud to settle. When you sit still, the water in the glass clears, the dust settles at the bottom, and you can finally see through the glass. You realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. That distance, that tiny gap between the thinker and the thought, is where freedom lives. Another tool in the happiness skill is understanding the distinction between joy and peace. Modern culture sells joy. It sells high energy, party, thrill, intensity, but joy is exhausting. You cannot be joyful for 24 hours a day. It biologically depletes you. Biologically, pleasure is a peak. And for every peak, there is a valley. If you eat sugar, your insulin spikes, and then you crash. If you take drugs, you feel high, and then you withdraw. Even intellectual pleasure has a crash. Naval argues that we should not aim for joy. We should aim for peace. Peace is sustainable. Peace is a flow state. Peace is the absence of oscillation. When you are working on your specific knowledge, when you are deep in the code, or writing, or building, or painting, you are not happy in the jumping up and down sense. You are at peace. You are aligned. Time disappears. The self disappears. That is the goal. A quiet mind, a busy body. We want to move from type 2 fun, thrills/dopamine, to type 1 fun, deep satisfaction/serotonin. Dopamine is the molecule of more. Serotonin is the molecule of here and now. The wealth game runs on dopamine. The happiness game runs on serotonin. You need to know which engine to use. This leads us to the ultimate definition of freedom. In part 1, we talked about financial freedom. But what does that actually mean? Naval redefines retirement. He doesn't define it by age, he defines it by state of mind. Retirement is when you stop sacrificing today for an imaginary tomorrow. When today is complete in itself, you are retired. He says there are 3 ways to retire. Way number 1, you save enough money so your passive income covers your burn rate. This is what we talked about in part 1. You build equity, you build leverage, you get rich, you buy your freedom with cash. This is the most common path for people watching this channel. It is a valid path, but it takes time. Way number 2, you drive your burn rate down to 0. This is the monk mode. You become a minimalist. You decide you don't need the big house, you don't need the car, you don't need the fancy clothes. If you need very little, you can retire very early. You can retire tomorrow. This is powerful, but it requires massive internal discipline to ignore society's pressure. Way number 3, you do something you love so much that you would do it for free. You find a game where the work itself is the reward. If you love coding and you get paid to code, you are already retired. You are not sacrificing today for tomorrow. You are enjoying today and getting paid for it. This is the ultimate victory. This is where specific knowledge, part 1, meets happiness, part 3. When your work feels like play, you never have to retire because you never really worked. So Messi, how do we put this all together? The wealth, the judgment, the happiness. This trilogy of videos is a system. It is a logical progression. You cannot just skip to happiness if you are starving, and you cannot enjoy wealth if you are crazy. Step 1, wealth. Use permissionless leverage, code and media, and specific knowledge to buy back your time. Money buys freedom. It buys you out of the rat race. It solves your survival problems. It removes the low-level stress of paying bills. It is a hygiene factor. Get the money so you can stop thinking about money. Step 2, judgment. Use your freedom to think clearly. Make fewer, better decisions. Avoid ruin. Don't lose the wealth you built by making stupid, ego-driven bets. Keep your circle of competence. Protect your time from busy work. Step 3. Happiness. Use your time and your clear mind to cultivate peace. Train your body. Eat real food. Walk in the sun. Sleep 8 hours. And train your mind. Lower your expectations. Stop comparing. Break the contract of desire. Naval ends the book with a powerful thought. The 3 most important things in life are wealth, health, and happiness. We pursue them in that order. We kill ourselves for wealth first, then we worry about health, then maybe we think about happiness, but their importance is reverse. When you are young, you sacrifice health and happiness for wealth. When you are old, on your deathbed, you would trade all your wealth, every single dollar, for 1 day of health. You would trade all your status for 1 moment of peace. The goal of Victor's channel, the goal of the system, is to help you get the wealth without losing the health and happiness along the way. We want to arrive at the destination with our souls intact. Don't wait until you are 60 to be happy. Don't wait until the exit. Don't wait until the IPO. If you can't be happy with a coffee and a book today, simply sitting in a chair, you won't be happy with a yacht and a champagne tomorrow. You will just be a miserable person on a boat. And the ocean is a very lonely place to be miserable for today. Here's your assignment. It is a subtraction assignment. Identify 1 desire that is making you unhappy right now. 1 comparison you are making. Maybe you are jealous of a friend's career promotion. Maybe you are obsessing over buying a new watch that you can't afford yet. Maybe you are angry about something a politician said on the news. Drop it, just for today. Visualize it as a heavy rock in your backpack and just drop it. Break the contract. Say to yourself, I have enough. I am doing enough. The world is enough. Feel the weight lift off your shoulders. That lightness, that silence, that is the beginning of wealth. This is Victor. Wealth is the tool. Freedom is the goal. Thank you for walking this path with me. And remember, the only way to win the game is to know when to stop playing.